You know, modern LEGO games are not bad at all, but once you have played like two of them, they are all the same, just with a different big pop culture IP attached to it. Please don't call me a boomer, but back in my day, we got experiences that maybe weren't really that great nowadays, but they were unique and fun to our younger brains, and that is what counts, right? The biggest case here is Lego. I know it's Lego in English, but I prefer to say the German way, Island 1. A weird open world adventure game that is just allowing you to walk around the island and do what you want. There is no story really, except for one big climax moment that for me as a kid always felt like the final mission, because it is. First, you are allowed to pick as what character you want to play as in the information center, and it doesn't really matter except for the cool intro cutscene you get to see. They all have the same missions, but the way other characters talk to them is obviously different. Would be weird if they talk to the cop the same way as they would talk to the teenage boy Pepper, who kinda became the face of the franchise. There's just something so nice about these little videos you get to see for each character. The whole game in general has that amazing grainy 90s CGI look inside of the buildings that you never really appreciated as a kid, but now you look at it and think, man, there's just something special about this stuff. Also, look at this amazing spinning 3D cube. For sure one of the best cubes ever in a video game. It shows you your progress and what quests you have done with each character, and it also allows you to watch the game build those little city sets in the corner while your wife is busy with one of her boyfriends. You can even go to the highest floor of it after passing the somewhat dangerous water tank section of the information center. I'm sure the shark is friendly. Despite popular belief, sharks are not that dangerous, but if you can, keep your distance anyways. Look at the view, better than any other view you could get from some fancy overpriced 5-star hotel in the city of Barcelona. Overseeing the whole island and being allowed to feel like God when you change the color of the sky and making it day or night whenever you feel like it. What's cooler than changing the time of day? Being able to throw a paper plane over the whole island, or letting the pet monkey out. What was he doing inside of it? We will never know. I always loved these kind of games as a kid, where you could just click anything and it would do some random action. A stark contrast to your usual life, where everything is just the same and boring cycle, and there's no animals in your closet, which is a good thing since that would be bad for the animal. So what do you usually do in this game? Nothing really. You just walk around and explore and see what the island has to offer. The random events that just happen while you do that are my favorite thing about this game nowadays. Everyone on this island is pretty crazy and there's always something happening. Like this poor family dad never being able to see his kids again after this little accident that leaves him a bit headless. Maybe he was actually evil and Karma got him, so I won't have to feel bad for him. We will never know. Or just a little Beatles reference that you wouldn't get unless your parents were big fans of the Beatles, so you probably understood it if you're British. I have no idea if my game just totally bugged out, or if it was normal for them to just disappear and have a girl show up without pants. And legs. Even though pants and legs are the same for the Lego people, I guess. Wiggling the camera around also made the Beatles come back for a split second, but they were bald. I'm sure back in the day someone would have turned this into a creepypasta. And there's just so much of this, minding your own business while the people here do their crazy antics that nowadays make you feel, what were they thinking with these? The random animations of them turning bigger or smaller and flying them all across the screen, being able to click on them and changing whatever they have on their head, pressing the Z button to make all the trees on the island dance. It was perfect for kids who wanted to just have silly things happen. It would still work in the current year probably. Put a kid in front of the PC and let them explore it and they will have the time of their life. The actual missions of the game are something that make you think you're playing GTA. Being allowed to drive the ambulance around, delivering pizza, doing races and things like that. But it's not just GTA, but also Need for Speed Underground, because you can build and pimp your own ride. Sadly, you can't put some consoles into the back of the racing car or truck. I always wondered how many people actually used those after they got their car back from Exhibit. One cute thing I noticed for the first time when doing the ambulance mission was that driving past the gas station actually fills up your gas again. I don't know if I just don't remember it anymore from when I played as a kid or teenager, but I thought that was a nice touch. I'm impressed by little things like this way too easily. It makes you feel that the people who worked on the game gave it that extra bit of love. There's also a jet ski race that's pretty radical and groovy. Just listen to Bill Ding when you build your jet ski and you will realize how sick it is. And yes, his name really is Bill Ding, because you're building something when he's around. He's pretty damn annoying though. Sorry, Bill Ding. You're my least favorite Lego island person. Please leave this island immediately.
Oh, I'm building, and you're building. Well, I am stoked now. Whoa, drag. But drag isn't a drag, if you know what I mean. Whoa, and we'll rotate your ski for a better look ski. And like you can go totally bonkers in the bay. Totally cool. Hey.
After you build the racing car, you can join the biggest race of them all, a fast Formula 1 racetrack in a big tunnel under the island filled with giant pizza and a big octopus and the biggest skeleton you will ever see in a video game. That's a lot of big things, can't relate to that as a short person, even though it means most things are big to me so I can actually relate. I am not afraid to admit that as a kid this huge skeleton actually scared me. I'm not sure what's worse to get scared by, him or the ghost from Hype the Time Quest, so even Lego's big rival Playmobil somehow was able to scare me, despite the ghost looking like bed sheets. At least I never got scared by the piano in Mario 64, so I got more courage than most people. Here the skeleton can really mess you up though, because he will just kick you away, the only way to really lose the race. Or the other way to lose would be the controls, because they're way too sensitive, just like my poor little heart sometimes. You just go left and right way too fast and there's no way to change it. It's hard to keep it in the middle, and while the racing track is wide and far, it's way harder on these little paths on the island. Not like it matters, but you will keep getting stuck against the edges of these paths and makes you just want to stick to the roads instead. You can use the mouse to drag yourself across the island, which I would not recommend, but the other way to move is to use the arrow keys, and back when I was young the arrow keys were the way to move in games for me. WASD, yes I said it the German way because it's shorter, was not a thing to me as a kid really till later. Doesn't matter here since only the arrow keys work, so you have to hold your mouse in the right hand and have the left hand on the arrow keys, and it just feels so awkward to have your left arm in that position for so long nowadays. It tries so hard to give you cramps. Another funny thing about the vehicles is when you let go of them at high speed, they just continue on and find their way back to their usual location. Like you try going back to the gas station and your skateboard just doing whatever it wants. Look at it go. The game also has one of the biggest gaming mysteries to me as a kid, even bigger than Bigfoot and San Andreas. This door, this damn door that makes you think it's possible to open it somehow. There isn't a way though, nothing you can do except for trying everything your little kid brain could think of. Getting 100%, pressing random buttons, clicking on it for 100 times to maybe get a new piece of dialogue, clicking on the chest to maybe get a key out of it if you do it often enough. But nope, there's only a ghost kitty here. Really cute.
You know, you can take lovely pictures any place on the island just by clicking on the print screen button on your keyboard and
my own little theory, not a game theory, I had as a kid was that the door connects to the information center, because at the top of it you can click on one of the doors too and have the same person talk to you.
I'll tell ye one tiny clue if you leave me be.
The one behind the door in the cave, so I thought maybe it's another warp point somehow, combined with a secret tunnel, since most places can teleport you right back to the center if you press the logo of it. Sadly there's nothing behind it, and it was just supposed to be a little tease for one of their other Lego related games that were cancelled. This was the only Lego game they made. After that the series was given to Silicon Dreams instead, that basically only made football games before, and it's surprising how they were able to make such a great game with Lego Island 2 if you look at the other games. I even own one of their other games, the game for the Champions League season of 2001. Was a shitty season for Dortmund in the Champions League, but damn, it was an amazingly close battle to become the champions of the Bundesliga, and also got close to winning the UEFA Cup before the tough times for the club arrived. I know nobody here cares about football, I will continue talking about Lego. Sorry. There is an ending to the game, kinda like I said earlier. Normally if you deliver pizza with pepper when you don't have a helicopter, nothing happens. But when you have one built, then the Brickster actually bricks out, and everyone just blames you for it. I felt really bad as a kid for doing it, since everyone just starts berating you, except your mom. You can always count on your mom, hopefully. At least the dad makes puns to make up for it, but I hate puns, so I hate him. If I was his son, I would take over the pizza place and shut it down so he suffers for the rest of his life, because he's at fault for giving so much responsibility to me.
I could feel it in my knees.
Papa, you are imagining those things.
Imagining knees? Ah.
It's also the only way to get food on this island, so everyone else would just starve. Sorry. But now you have to follow the Brickster, who for some reason just steals an ambulance instead of using the helicopter because he destroyed the helicopter, and now you have to pick up the pieces he's losing and then find the ones he put somewhere. How to find them? They make the sound the closer you get to them, while the overall music also puts you on edge.
As you know, Pepper, but I just don't want to remember Lego Island this way. We've got to find those bricks, Pepper. Go to it.
After doing that, you get to fly the helicopter and have to make the cops run into the Brickster by throwing pizzas or donuts onto the way. The cops go faster when they see donuts, and the Brickster goes faster towards the pizza. And he also gets stuck on the donuts. When I was playing this mission, one of the cops just got stuck, same with the Brickster. Now I would have to wait for the other cop to maybe eat some of the donuts so I can shoot them again, since you don't have unlimited donuts and pizzas, and have to wait for the ones on the floor to be eaten, but she never came. So to make it really retro, I downloaded 54 megabytes of video from one of my old Lego Island episodes when Let's Plays were the hot new shit, where I did the mission, and also got stuck on it for a bit. Maybe I'm just really bad at this. So enjoy seeing the ending cutscene in its intended 480p quality. It's more like 360, but you know, back in the day, I had bad internet. They sure know how to throw a party. There's also a bad ending, and it was supposed to make you feel even more depressed, but they deemed it as too scary for kids. It would have just prepared you for your later life, seeing depressed people all around you. Sometimes you gotta learn early how hard life can be. The game doesn't really offer much more after you've seen most of the random events and have completed the actual missions with like 2 characters. You can force me to do another playthrough with some changes here and there in a game like Nier, but in Lego Island nowadays, no way. But as a kid it was a total dream. It felt at least 20 times bigger than it actually was. Role-playing with yourself in this world, getting immersed and making up your own storylines about how you live here. Before you get concerned for me, yes, I did have friends as a kid and didn't just live in my make-pretend world of Lego Island. I have to say the soundtrack of the game is amazing. There's tons of bangers on the jukebox, and you should go listen to some of them like Mamma Papa Briccolini or Brick by Brick, some of the best vocal songs in any game ever. It belongs in the top 10 of most amazing video game soundtracks, or maybe top 100 at least.
And Laura told Nick, you can move a mountain if you do it brick by brick.
It's a game that makes me think it's what Lego was all about back in the day, their own creations and also yours. Something that continued with Lego Island 2 later, building up the whole Pepper storyline and ending with Island Extreme Stunts, which I never liked too much. Probably because when I got it as a kid it didn't work on the family PC, since I didn't know what system requirements are. So I'm a bit biased against it, and finally playing it as an adult on the PlayStation 2 on an emulator made me think, well, it's a bunch of minigames. Lego Island 2 felt like a total adventure, while this one felt like a step back. Even without my nostalgic feelings for the other Island games, I would probably think it's the worst one. After that, it got really quiet with these kind of games. If you look at the list of original Lego games, there's still a whole bunch that came after, but the only other game that fulfilled that Lego Island itch was Lego City Undercover, a game that's also over 10 years old at this point. The state of the Lego games kinda mirrors the state of the actual company for me. Instead of creative sets, you just pump out overpriced sets that are more about the collabs and are aimed at collectors. Another personal story, I like to put these at the end so I don't annoy people if they just want to hear about the actual game, I had with the game was making Let's Play, like I said earlier, of it back in the day, and having that kind of moment that as an adult makes me think, why did I do this? I recorded an episode with a special guest, my Fin plushie, a plushie that belonged to basically a Tamagotchi game with a blue dolphin bird thing. He's really cute, and if you press on his tummy, he makes noises, so I would ask a question to him and answer it by making him do these sounds and pretend I totally understood what he just said.
Weil wenn man drauf drückt, macht sie diese Geräusche. Finn, sag mal Hallo.
It doesn't really make me cringe, but I still feel a little bit embarrassed about it. Luckily there's only 87 people who got to see it, and all of them already forgot about it, hopefully. And also you know, but you only got a little glimpse of it. Sometimes I like to watch my own old Let's Plays that I will forever keep on private for my own enjoyment to laugh at myself. Even though it's a bit scary how little I actually have changed from back then. Maybe one day I will download all of these videos and upload them on a new channel, maybe when I disappear from the internet right after. I still had my fun finally returning to Lego Island again after a long break from it. I would totally take a vacation on this island, even if those crazy things are happening to me, except maybe the one with the car and losing your head. I don't think that would do any good to me as a normal person that can't just put their head back on. I always am lost inside of my head every night before I try to fall asleep because my past sins are keeping me awake for longer than needed anyways. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video and will have a good day, a good night, or whatever fits your time zone. I kinda want to build some Lego stuff now, but there comes a point in your family life where your box of random Lego pieces get passed down to the next generation, and since my sister has kids, that's where it went, so no Lego for me, unless I have my own kids one day, but I think the sun exploding in our lifetime is more likely to happen than finding a partner for me, so bye bye.